Hi guys, how are we going? The other day I came up with a bit of an idea to start something called Creative Couch Conversations, and this beautiful lady was my first one that I thought of. So here we are today on her beautiful creative couch and her home.
Welcome guys.
Welcome. This is the first one, so we're just going to roll with it and see what unfolds here. So my vision with this is to really show people that we are all creative beings, and that there's no one that is more special than anyone else, that we've all got gifts and we're all able to share them, and it's just about getting through the head stuff to allow us to really activate those gifts and share to people. So you don't have to be a musician, a writer, a this or a that. Like, our unique gifts are there, and we just have to learn to tap into them. So this is what I'm wanting to share, and through conversations with different people, I feel like it'll add a lot of value to people out there, and allow some permission for people to do that for themselves. So here we are with the beautiful MJ.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So I just want to start, darling. Like, we've just been having some conversations before, which was really beautiful and easy flowing. So we'll see if we can continue with that.
Yeah.
But just starting with a bit of background with you, and like what you were like as a kid, and did you always know that you were here to share your gifts through music and art, or did that come later in life? Was it something that had to keep unfolding for you?
I think it was really interesting. I grew up in New Zealand. I was born in 1990. Good time to be alive. But I did, from really early on, it was super clear. I wanted to be in front of people. I wanted to be making music, particularly singing. I was writing songs from a really early age, and I was drawing from a really early age, and was really free in my expression, and really good at claiming space and being like, it's time to listen to a song now, guys, like sit down, it's concert time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice actually looking back. But it's funny, through teenage years, I think, lost a lot of confidence, and took on just some stories about, the arts not being profitable, a lot of stuff about age, especially musically, so that I was in a band that did like reasonably well when I was a teenager, and people telling me, once you hit 18, you're not going to be special anymore, you'll be just another person. So
age is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That comes in. Yeah.
Having these like funny little crises at such young ages, like 18, 21, 25, 27. Going like,
running out of time.
What am I doing? Can I still do anything?
Wow.
And people just telling me to, you're not very good at this, which, I had plenty of the opposite as well. But it's so funny the way that what can stay most loudly are the bits that resonate with the limiting beliefs that have kind of taken seed.
And do you feel like that those things that have really stuck with you, like the more negative things, that has held you back from your path and what your higher self is wanting for you?
It definitely slowed the process.
Yes.
Because it all fed into this belief that what I was creating had to be perfect, so that nobody could fault it, so that nobody could say mean things, or else it wasn't worth releasing, it wasn't even worth doing. So it led to like a stream of starting projects that I would never follow through on, having these like bursts of inspiration and getting going, and then having this like this crumbling heap moment of
I
just
call
like
it head fuckness.
The head fuckness sets in,
fuckness.
like freaking dark clouds.
And it eats you.
Yes. And that leads to like a week or so of like apathy. Like, why am I even here anyway? And then from that nothingness, the inspiration comes back. That just the process gets so much worse. Yeah, for me, it has had a history of getting so much longer for for carrying around beliefs that often weren't even mine in the first place.
So conditioned, isn't it? I don't relate to everything you're saying. So what have you done for yourself to get to this point now where you are confidently sharing? And I know I'm sure things come up along the way still, but you're able to really pull yourself out of that now. Like, what journey have you been on with that to help you bring in tools?
Yeah, I like personal development's one of like the great loves of my life as well. So I read a lot, and just tend to kind of treat each book I read or each TED talk I listen to as like a study session and find practical applications for it in my life. So one of the things I did to get back in touch with what I really wanted to do, because in wanting to be perfect and please everybody, every time somebody would say to me like, oh, you'd be great at that, I'd go, oh, well, I'll do that then. And just do like a billion things that I didn't really enjoy while completely avoiding the couple of things I knew I really wanted but that I'd fail at. And so to get back in touch with what I really wanted to do, there was this great exercise called a timeline. And so basically from birth to now, just mapping out every significant memory that I had, good or bad. And so going through and going, oh, that time that girl said this to me when I was 8, or that time at the birthday party that happened, right through to now, and then looking for the themes that ran through them. And all of mine were stage or music related, or art related. Basically all of my highest highs and lowest lows were all because I felt really good about something I'd created, or really terrible about something that had happened. So after identifying that, then it was just a case of, but as you know, like coming to hear properly all of the voices in my head and taking time to check in and go, ooh, okay, what's that? And deciding what I wanted to give airtime to versus, the things that I'd collected that weren't mine that I was happy to do away with. And it's amazing, like when I'd sit with a thought, when somebody would say, oh, well, you're not a real musician, well, not when somebody would say, when that would come through in my head, like sitting down with that and going, what's that? That's not the truth. And that particular sentence was echoed from a boy that I was in a band with when I was 17.
Wow.
And like just the things that had turned into my head voice over time that weren't my of my origin. And finding it's been a really cool journey, gifting back all of the stuff that wasn't mine and finding compassion. But
forgiveness, compassion, forgiveness to yourself as well, isn't it? And like, because we don't realise when we're in it that we are carrying it and it's not ours. So, and it's when you get to the point where it sounds like you're at now, where you can see that it is a habit and you can choose to believe it or to not believe it, and rewiring exactly. Like I spent a lot of time in that shadow work, which is important to bring that awareness up. But then it gets to the point where you don't need that anymore, and you just can go to that, okay, I know what this is now, like I'm more aware now, and it's just so much more freeing.
It becomes a way more fluid conversation, hey? Like getting to that point of just like going, hey.
And it's just self-honesty, isn't it? Like, if we're not honest about it, it's going to stay there.
Yeah, and leak out often too. It's like if you're pushing it down, it tends to come out in all sorts of manner of ways that are way worse than if we just own it.
Totally. Just gonna pretend that you're not there. Oh, I love it. Oh, awesome. So was there like a big wake-up moment? We had a chat about this a bit before, if you'd like to go into that. When you were like, okay, I'm ready to make some changes now, like I'm ready to step into what my highest calling is and do it, and know that like, those voices are going to be there along the way, but just know that you don't need to allow them to hold you back anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of moments for that. Like the first factor that really shifted that for me was I'm really blessed to have an amazing teacher who is based up in Fremantle, and I've been studying some healing arts with her for a few years. Breathwork being one of them, which is an incredible modality for shifting, for shifting stuck emotion, I suppose would be the easiest way to say that. And she marries a shamanic practice with it, which touches on a lot more of the spiritual aspects. And in those sessions I started to just feel and hear and see really clearly like what it was that I was supposed to be doing, and to receive that confidence and the backing from different guides and sources, just like saying like, yes, that is a gift, and yes, we want you to use it. I had a vision that really made an impact on me one day, that was of basically the way that the healing work that I was so enjoying doing, that was working so well one-on-one with somebody, that the essence of what came through was that I can do that exact same thing through music en masse, and therefore it's like for that amount of time.
That shit excites me.
Oh, that's so exciting!
So exciting.
That's the best. I still get tingles when I think about it.
I just got to mention.
It's amazing, because the beautiful thing about music is that I don't need to be sitting people down and going, I'm going to heal you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to work on your stuff.
And they're not giving away their power.
No.
They're just there enjoying.
And getting to decide how they want to experience it and to what extent, but, regardless of to what extent they're open through however much somebody opens, the music can come in and serve people in whatever way is best for them in that moment.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful release of ego too, because when I'm getting up, the moment that I start going like, oh no, maybe I'm not that good at this, or oh no, maybe my voice isn't sounding great today, oh I did the wrong chord, there's just this little surety in the back of my mind that's like, it's not about you. Trust.
And that even gives people permission, like fucking up gives people permission to do the same. So
totally.
You can't go wrong, love.
Totally. And as much as like I remember struggling with it a bit in the beginning, but people saying, oh, well if you can do it, I can do it. And it's like, yeah, actually you can. And why don't you? And like, does that excite you? But anyway, to come back around, so that was just having that that gift of surety and feeling held by something bigger than myself was part of the beginning of it. And then during that time, I was saying to you earlier, I was working 2 jobs. So I was working in a beautiful little coffee van in the mornings and at a bar in the evening. And I was just seeing so many of the same people coming through for multiple coffees in the morning, multiple drinks at night, and feeling that it's not the coffee, it's not the beer that they were there for, it was the connection and the conversation and feeling seen, because I think so many of us can walk through life not feeling really seen or heard. And so the awareness just really grew for me then. I was like, I don't want to be in this position, I want to be doing something that's actually helping the people on the level that they need to be met and seen and felt and heard and held, instead of giving the symptomatic relief. I didn't want to be the Panadol, I wanted to be like the actual cure.
Medicine.
Yeah, the medicine.
Yes, girl.
And not like, I'm here to cure all the world's problems, not like that, but like the little bits I can do, which is just being able to take the time out to have heartfelt conversations, or whether I reach people through my music or through coaching or through healing sessions, like that feels to me more like the medicine or the solution than the gift of something that might temporarily feel better but ultimately doesn't.
Totally get that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And to me that's conscious creating, like that real heartfelt, like I just have to get out of my own way here, because it's not about me, it's about the masses.
Yes.
And sharing.
And about bringing people up with us as well.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, beautiful girl. Just feeling your music resonance right now. It's such a gift.
Thank you.
Oh my golly.
Thank you. I'm so enjoying it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see. I love watching people's progression and growth. Like I just love being that observer.
Same.
like it makes me want to cry sometimes. And it's like that love for humanity and just being like, yes, go you.
Yeah.
And you know, it never used to feel that like free within me. Like it's because I'm choosing to do it myself. And I remember when it used to feel a lot more constricted, and you feel like you're getting left behind.
Yes.
That feeling. So to be able to be in that place where you're fist pumping people and you're just like backing yourself and other humans it's so freeing, isn't it?
It is. And genuinely exciting. I think like coming to that place of when we're in that place of heart-centered, excited, inspired creation. Like, what was I going to say? I'm so caught up in the feeling of heart-inspired creation. The way that it eliminates any idea of competition, because like in feeling that good, the thing that just keeps on coming back around is like, I want everyone to feel this good. And like I think the collective vision or understanding that we all have of what the world will be like when that's achieved. And so instead of feeling like I used to get it chronically, and every now and then it still creeps up, especially if I spend too long on Instagram.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, oh my god, everyone's so perfect and beautiful. Which they are, but it's not the comparison. And getting rid of that competition or kind of like the judgment of whether somebody or something is like better or worse or more or less, and just going like, wow, we're all so magic in our own ways, and how can we bring more of that out?
Totally. And so similar in the way that like this story, this sharing is going to resonate with so many people. like, I do that. Oh, I do. And like, we our humans are so similar in so many ways. We're just so very unique in others. Yeah.
There's like the cool things that we experience that share that similarity, that because we are unique, we all experience them slightly differently, but it's the same sort of story.
Same thing. We could go around in circles here.
So much. But it's so great that that's what you're doing with this video series as well, like inviting people to come and to share and to kind of stand.
And when you don't really know what it's going to look like, and then you start doing it, and it's like, this is what it is. It's easy, you're just creating with friends, and it feels easy. We can sometimes make it seem too hard in our heads. A lot. So we just do it. Just start it. See what happens. I'm going to end with if you've got any guidance that this has all been guidance, but just like, I don't really like to use the word advice, but just like some little ending words of wisdom for someone who may be experiencing those self-doubt beliefs and wants so much to be able to next level but don't quite know how. Is there anything that comes to mind?
I share your sentiment. I'm cautious of advice, but in terms of from my experience, I think the greatest thing I've ever done for myself, and that I would recommend 1 billion times over to 1 billion different people, is taking time daily to get quiet. Everyone does that differently. It could be a walk in nature, it could be meditation, it could be sitting with a cup of tea, but taking the time to get quiet and to tune into, you can call it what you want. Some people call it the universe or God or source or your higher self, like basically that part of you that you've heard the voice of before. Like if you've been down on yourself and there's that little bit of you that's going, hey, that's not the truth, or that little bit of you that's like, hey, you can do this. We all have that little voice, and that's what I'm referring to is taking the time to get quiet and tune into that, because the better we get at listening to that little voice, the quiet whisper sort of turns into a really audible, fluid conversation. That's where I think our strength and answers can be found, because we all have it within us. Like it's not in a guru, it's not in a book, it's not in a technique, it's it's within us, because every one of us is as unique as a grain of sand. Like there's no one size fits all, regardless of how people try and sell it. And so what I would love to see more of, and what I found really beneficial, is tuning in to that part of ourselves that knows, and then from there just asking what's the next smallest step, because like that little voice will tell you, like, you know, the next smallest step is to record a video series called MJ. Okay, I'll do that.
Pack the
From
tea.
there, yeah, right. And for me it was you know, play guitar, ask Dan to help you write songs, book a gig, you know.
One step at a time.
One step at a, and the steps start getting bigger, but it just it makes it less. I don't know about for you, but I'm a big picture person, and so I go like, well, it'll be this, and that's terrifying because I'm not qualified for that, so I'm going to leave it to somebody.
Totally, and that stopped me in my tracks so many fucking times. I'm just like, oh, how am I going to do all that?
Yeah. That's like a job for 100 people on one, and it's like, what can turn into 100 people? Take that small step.
And that's when the masculine is so good to bring in, like the structure and the, you know, like as women we can be quite big picture, floaty, like can feel it.
Yeah.
But then to put it into place, we need that other part of ourselves.
That action.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah, definitely. And to marry those without one becoming more dominant than the other two, because we need the room for that magic and that the flexibility that comes with our feminine essence, but yeah, having that masculine side which just kind of goes like, okay, so we could spend 10 hours in the forest today, that would be fun. But maybe we could spend half of that time kicking some goals as well.
Totally. I really love what you said about the space, because that is the most important thing for all of us, allowing that space. And myself, I've been getting into the morning routine and the evening routine, and routine just means like space, allowing that space, like to do, as you said, meditation, writing, walking, whatever, but it's just giving yourself permission to have that. That's the most important thing, I feel as well, so thank you for that. Oh my god, is it recording?
I don't know.
Imagine if it wasn't.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Anyway, let's hope that it's recording.
If not, that was a great dress rehearsal.
Thank you so much, darling, for showing up and being here and saying yes and sharing. And for anyone who doesn't know MJ's music and art, I'm going to put her details down below in the comments. So if you feel connected to this beautiful woman, please explore her beautiful music. And yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you. It's an honour.
Yay!